or we think it's an ingrown nail. On the side of the toe right here, you can, if you take a close look, it looks like he's actually done the procedure himself, and he's been cutting on the toe for several years. So when he was 7 years old, this was probably 35, 37 years ago, he had some bricks drop on the toe. Something happened to the toe. He just remembers an injury, but ever since then, he's had sharp pain all across here. So we don't know if anything's in there or not. We're going to find out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove a little more of this nail. So we're going to make this even. I'm going to remove this back here and go through here, and I'm going to remove all the tissue back here as well underneath the toe to see if we find something. Maybe we'll find an old piece of brick or a piece of nail that actually was embedded under the skin that's been trying to make its way out. Because if you have a piece of nail in there and it touches the nerve endings, it will actually feel like something's stabbing you in the foot. So we're going to start this now. We're going to free up the area, and we're going to see what we can find here. And I'm freeing this up on the top and then underneath. You can see I'm actually underneath where there would be a nail, and there is pieces of nail here. Actually, there's something in here right now, at least scar tissue. So this is similar to doing the procedure because we're going to see what's underneath. There's not much between the nail and the bone for tissue, but we're going to remove all that too, just to make sure that it's clean in there and he doesn't have a problem. So now I'm going to clip this piece of nail here, and this will give me a portal medially, which is this way, towards where he's having the pain, and we can see if there's anything under there. So I've got that freed up right there. Now I can take a hemostat in there, and we're going to see what's actually underneath this area here. And I'm going to bring this around, and you can see this is great with the curved stat because I'm able to curve it probably at about a 45-degree angle. I'm way back here, and I'm going to take out all this tissue with it. So we're going to slowly pull it, and you can see there is nail. So you can see as we pull it out. I don't know if you can see it up there if you're interested, but look, you can see there is a chunk in there. There's a big chunk coming out of here right now. Do you see that? Yeah. And you can see that little hook at the end of it right there. And that's probably, that was in there. That's touching right where the nerve ending is. When I say the nerve ending, it's actually the nerve itself. That's exactly right in alignment with the digital nerve. The dorsal digital medial nerve is right here. And that's probably what's hitting on that. And that's a big chunk of nail. And that's really hard right there too. So that's probably part of the problem. So I'm going to clean the inside of that out. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Actually, Alexi, if you want to zoom in on that, you can see. I mean, look at that piece of nail. This is the hard part right there. I mean, that is like a very, very thick, dense chunk of nail that's cutting into the flesh against the nerve, yeah. Okay, let's go back to this. Now we're going to go and clean any of this stuff out of here. I'm going to take the tissue nipper, and we're going to get this nice and clean underneath. So we'll wipe that off, and what I'm doing...
You can, right?
Talk, yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah, on the screen you can actually see it right up close. When you see it on a big screen, it's incredible too. So the people watching this right now are probably saying, wow, look at that. You can see everything. And what I'm doing is removing any tissue underneath here and any potential tissue that could get in the way. And that's like this piece right here. And we're going to take this off of here. And this is just so it doesn't heal back in. This will all heal up. Anything I cut out of here too is going to heal back up, but it'll be out of the way of where the nail was and where that flesh was digging in. This gets a little bit bloody here. Let's give it another 2x2 here and see what we got here. And right now I'm underneath here. I'm going to scrape the bottom of this. Actually, what I'm going to do is feel right here, and I can actually look at the screen myself too. And see, there's nothing there now. I can just feel the nice little hole that we made from taking that piece of nail out of there. So now what I'm going to do, we're going to cauterize this and just see if there's anything left that has to come out. This actually feels pretty good. I'm taking the tissue nipper and I'm going along the base of it, and what I'm feeling for is basically almost the periosteal layer of the bone, which is the top part of the bone underneath it. But there's a layer of tissue over it, and I'm trying to stay over that layer right now. but making sure that I have all these matrix cells gone, and I'm destroying it so he doesn't get any kind of spicule forming in there. Now we're going to cauterize this, and we're going to put the chemical as well to burn any cells that may be remaining there. And we're going to do that with this sodium hydroxide. And we're going to put a good amount here. And you can see this is great now. I can feel, this feels nice, and it's actually like it's a little slimy there. And I know that there's still some of the periosteal tissue there. I'm not down to raw bone. I don't want raw bone, but I want to be right over the top. So there's no nail cells left. And you can see that? See how it's just, how it's white. And that's what we're doing, is burning any kind of cells on top of there, which is the nail matrix cells. So no nail is going to be produced. So when this grows out, it'll have a straight edge all the way out this way. So this will fill in. It'll look nice and neat too. But this is just killing any of the nail cells there too. So there's no regrowth. So we're going to do number 2 here. This is the second stick. And we usually do about 10 seconds. With him, I want to make sure this is the area in the corner that I want to make sure there's no regrowth whatsoever. So I'm actually making sure this is in here real well, and I'm burning that area. And you can already see, just from looking at it on your big screen, you can see that it's white. And that's how you know that it's burned. So one more stick, and this will pretty much guarantee no regrowth. The body's going to react to this, so he's going to drain for 3 or 4 weeks, because it's going to still think it's, the body's still going to think it's being burned. So it drains, and then it'll slowly stop draining, and it's going to heal in with new tissue, and it will actually adhere right back here. This is going to adhere to whatever cells are left there from the over the periosteum, which is covering the bone, and it'll be nice and solid there. And then this will fill in with granulation tissue and skin. It'll look like a normal nail actually there. So, and that's what we want to see. So it'll look like nothing was done, and he should not have any more issues with sharp shooting pain in the toe, because that chemical that we put there, the sodium hydroxide, actually will kill the nerve endings there. So any nerve endings that are there at the top, it cauterizes them and burns, so you don't get an impulse there anymore. So you should not be getting a nerve impulse there anymore. So that's all filled in. That's good. We're going to just put a little bit of Silvadene on this and a dressing, cover it up. And this really is not that painful. In your case, because we went a little bit deeper than normal, it's going to be sore there, but you're not limited to what you can do. You can do whatever you want. You can do any kind of activities you want. You can even go swimming, as long as you're cleaning it twice a day with soap and water, and you put some Neosporin or triple antibiotic ointment on there. I did write an antibiotic. Normally, we don't give you an antibiotic the day of the procedure, but in this case, we're doing an antibiotic because we were digging in there pretty deep. There's a lot of trauma to the area. That area is dirty, so we want to make sure that he doesn't get an infection. So I put him on Augmentin, which is amoxicillin with clavulanic acid twice a day, 10 days worth of that. He's going to come back in 10 days. We're going to take a look at it, make sure it's not getting red. Drainage is going to be normal for a couple weeks. Soreness will be normal. But once that soreness wears off, you should not have any more sharp pain. And that's it. And if you like what you see, you can subscribe.